Here we're asked to solve the equation, and then they give us an exponential equation. 64 raised to the 3x is equal to 16 raised to the x plus 1. Now we've got exponential on both sides of the equation, and so the easiest way to solve that is to rewrite both sides of the equation to where they have the same base. Right now our bases are 64 and 16, but if we can rewrite those with the same base, then it makes this easy to solve. So thinking about 64 and 16, we recognize that both of those numbers are powers of 2. So if we can figure out which powers of 2 they are, then we can rewrite this equation to where they both have a power of 2 as their base. And so 2 to the first is 2, 2 to the second is 4, 2 to the third is 8, 2 to the fourth is 16, 2 to the fifth is 32, and 2 to the sixth is 64. And so we can see that we can rewrite 64 and 16 both as powers of 2. 64 is 2 to the sixth power, and 16 is 2 to the fourth power. So our equation was 64 raised to the 3x is equal to 16 raised to the x plus 1. And so we're going to substitute now. We're going to rewrite the 64. We know that 64 is the same as 2 to the 6th. So we can use 2 to the 6th instead of 64 because they're the same. So I'm going to rewrite that 64 as 2 to the 6th. But notice I'm not changing anything. So I still have that 64 raised to the 3x. And then same thing on the other side. That 16 we know is the same as 2 to the fourth. So I can replace 16 with 2 to the fourth because it's the same thing. And then that 16 is still raised to the x plus 1. So I haven't changed anything. My original equation is still the same. I just rewrote 16 and 64 as powers of 2. Well, now we can simplify. We can use our exponent rules. Remember, when we have a power raised to a power, that tells us we need to multiply those exponents. So 2 raised to the 6th, and then that raised to the 3x is the same as 2 raised to the 6 times 3x. And then same thing on the right. 2 raised to the 4th and then raised to the x plus 1 is the same as 2 raised to the 4 times x plus 1. We do need parentheses here because we are multiplying that 4 by the entire x plus 1, not just the first part of it. So simplifying those exponents, 6 times 3x is 18x, and 4 times x plus 1 is 4x plus 4. We do have to distribute that 4, multiply it to both parts of the x plus 1, not just the first part. Now we've got it simplified. We've got it rewritten where we've got the same base. And so if our bases are the same and we have equality, then our exponents have to be the same as well. If the overall answers are the same and the bases are the same, the exponents have to be the same. That means 18x has to be the same as 4x plus 4, which means we don't necessarily need those bases anymore. We can rewrite this as 18x is equal to 4x plus 4 because we know the exponents have to be equal to have equality. So now we've got a linear equation. We can easily solve that. We want to move the 4x over to get all our x's together on one side. And then divide both sides by 14. And we end up with 4 over 14. And then notice MyMathLab does want us to simplify our answer. So that simplifies to 2/7. Remember, anytime you're solving equations, you can always take that answer and go back and plug it in. And so plug in the 2/7 in place of x in both sides of the equation, simplify both sides, and see that you do have equality. So our answer here is 2/7.